Hey guys, it's Crossroads here. Today I wanted to talk about HIMS and HERS, ticker symbol HIMS, specifically what I see as a tremendous opportunity given to us today by the FDA. Let's take a look. First, let's look at the ticker here. You can see HIMS right here had fallen. Well, it's up a lot year to date, but as far as today, it had fallen 7.67%. And if we take just a quick zoom out, we can see from its peak of about $35, it is now presently down a good bit. That's 22.99%, actually a little more if you include pre-market and after hours as well. What is causing this drop? Well, the FDA came out with news. This is not a surprise or a shocker. That tirzepatide, this is one of the GLP-1 solutions that are on the market specifically, is no longer on the shortage list. Now, you might ask, what is this shortage list and why is it important? When drugs come out, initially, when they're developed, the person that actually develops it, they own that drug. They're able to market it. Of course, generics are eventually able to be marketed. But for now, when those drugs come on market, oftentimes there is an insatiable demand that one provider cannot solely sate alone. And so as a result, the FDA says, you know what, to get this drug into the hands of people that actually need the product, what we can do is go ahead and create the shortage list, which allows 503A and B pharmacies or compounding facilities, rather, to be able to manufacture these drugs. Of course, the person that owns the right to the drugs still makes money off of it, but a lot less if they were doing it themselves. HIMS is one of these. They're a 503A, and as a result, they were able to sell quite a bit of GLP-1 solution. It accelerated their revenue greatly, but even without that, they're still growing 40% year over year, even if GLP-1s didn't exist. Now, tirzepatide, is this a huge deal for HIMS? Absolutely not. This is actually one of several drugs that is a GLP-1 solution. And despite the stock price action today, this is not something that HIMS even compounds at all. So the FDA actually clarified and they said, okay, tirzepatide is no longer on a shortage list. However, there are still three that are GLP-1 products. Dulaglutide, which is not something HIMS touches. Semaglutide, which is what HIMS is compounding right now, and liraglutide, which is generic GLP-1 solution. HIMS is likely to launch that product here in early 2025. They already have a large pharmacy partner lined up to compound that. They're just doing some final tests. And so hopefully that'll come sooner rather than later. So FDA's news today did not impact HIMS in the slightest, but the stock fell. That's what I call a buying opportunity. Now, let's take a further look at the weight loss side of HIMS specifically. Now, I do want you to know that HIMS is a lot more than a GLP-1 company, even though the market treats it like it completely. Any GLP-1 headline, it goes up or down 10%. It's actually a little bit shocked that it only fell 7% today, even though it had nothing to do with them. That's just the way headlines worked. And HIMS is very volatile. It's not for everybody to own. But they offer a lot of the other products, including, of course, hair growth, skincare, those sort of things as well. But for weight loss, let's look specifically at a few things. So this is search terms on some of the most popular of the branded GLP-1 drugs. You can see Ozempic and Wegovy, which are both semaglutide. They're actually number one and number two in terms of public consciousness. Ozempic has a very clear lead as well. Zepbound and Mounjaro are tirzepatide solutions. A little bit less popular, but they're still somewhat popular as well. Now, as far as weight loss, something that you need to know, and you're probably already aware, but maybe you're not thinking of it in terms of the stock market, January 1st, at least here in the United States, probably elsewhere as well, tends to have a major time where people focus on losing weight. There's two reasons: New Year's resolutions and a lot of holiday weight, which I'm certainly feeling these days. I need to get back in the gym like I was doing a few months ago. But for those that wanted a little bit of extra help, oftentimes they look for other solutions, such as these GLP-1 products. Now, this is a survey that I discovered back in October that has 1.5 million people that were surveyed. It's not a professional survey, so take it with a grain of salt. What I found interesting, there's a lot of people certainly that say, hey, I'm not interested in this, and that's great. Don't get into this stuff. If diet and exercise is enough for you, if you're able to do that, that's wonderful. A lot of people had never heard of it, so there's still work to do on that side. But there's 6% of people, this is 6% of 1.5 million, that had not used it, but intended to. When do you think that they're going to intend to? probably in January. That's not going to be everybody, but it's going to certainly be a lot of people. Now, what is HIMS doing to prepare for this? Well, HIMS, of course, has several different weight loss solutions. They have an oral solution, which is not GLP-1. It's not semaglutide oral, but it works almost as effectively as GLP-1 at a fraction of the cost. They're, of course, launching liraglutide, the generic, sometime in 2025, and they're currently able to compound as well the GLP-1, the semaglutide. They also launched a product line as far as nutrition and health. Those are bars and shakes, those type of things, a month or two ago. And of course, those are ready to ship already and very much ready in time for 2025. Now, what's interesting on HIM's website, look at these headlines. And now, if you're watching this in the year of 2025, you might be like, hey, what's the big deal? The big deal is it's 2024 right now. We're not even to Christmas yet. And so HIMS is coming out with articles that says, hey, HIMS versus Noon in 2025. How do they compare? HIMS versus Found in 2025. Weight Watcher Loss 2025. A lot of this is for a search algorithm as well, but they know how to market well. They know how to capture a market share very, very well. And so they are certainly going for this. They understand that, of course, weight loss is on everybody's mind, especially this year, as the previous year was the first time in a long, long time in the United States that obesity actually fell. GLP-1s helped certainly with that. And so I expect that there's going to be a lot of demand, a lot of interest, a lot of marketing by HIMS, especially for that quarter one, as people want to try out some of these weight loss drugs for the first time. And so HIMS is poised for that. Now, let me just show you what one of these sites look like real quick. And you can, of course, do the rest of this your own. I have not looked at this one yet, so there might be some surprises, but HIMS versus Weight Watchers. You go here, and they do a pretty fair comparison, at least what I've seen on Noom's specific comparison. They don't just say, hey, Weight Watchers is trash, go with us. But instead, they go through and they say, hey, here's what we offer. Here's what they offer. Here's other weight services that they offer. And HIMS is very comprehensive, that if people are looking at them for weight loss, they give fitness tips, eating tips, sleeping tips, meal plans, all sorts of different things, because they want you to not only pay them money, they're a business, but they actually want you to have success and tell your friends. And so they have a vested interest in you actually losing weight. So how to get treatment, you can just do this 100% online. They talk about the costs. Usually HIMS is on the cheaper side there, especially when it relates to even with GLP-1s. And so, they have a lot of information here for people that are interested. I expect that they will continue to come out with more weight loss products. You'll probably see a lot of advertising also on their oral solution, especially when it looks like semaglutide will be removed from the shortage list. Now, for now, what am I doing with this? HIMS, of course, fell to $25, $26.36 as of right now. I plan to buy a little bit more HIMS on Friday and some more on Monday as well as funds come in. This is a company that I plan to own for a long, long time. I think it's a leader in telehealth. They have a differentiated culture, differentiated products. The personalization, I've talked about it in a separate video that I'll link below. But it's a phenomenal company. And when the market sells off a company for a reason that really doesn't have anything to do with what the company is actually doing, I call that a buying opportunity. You do you. Do some due diligence before you buy. Only buy what you're willing to risk, of course, because this is a very, very volatile stock. But for myself, this is a buying opportunity. Tell me what you think in the comments. Are you adding to HIMS? Are you initiating a position, as I saw several people on Twitter doing today? Are you staying away and saying, hey, you know what? Telehealth is something I don't want to get into. Those are all fine answers, but I'd love to hear from you in the comments. For now, happy investing.